Hey everyone, and welcome to Table Topics. Today we are talking about abortion because we do not shy away from topics trivial or controversial. A recent bill passed by the North Dakota House of Representatives has outlawed abortion. Of course, the bill will go on to the Senate, but we will talk about this today, and we remind you, as always, to share your opinions in the comments section as freely as we're about to share ours. So to have this discussion as young women, the first thing I do have to ask you is whether you are pro-choice or pro-life, and I'll start by saying that I am pro-choice, although I do agree with the bill which states that life begins at the point at which the embryo is fertilized. I'm still pro-choice though.
This is heated. This is a big one. I am pro-choice. Now, my beliefs I don't impose on anyone. They are my own. I believe that if you get pregnant and you can support the child and you have a good foundation and support base, then if you can handle it, go forward with it. Now, at the same time, sometimes children are just not brought up into happy home life. If it's a case of rape, I understand that that would be definitely means and grounds for considering abortion. So yes, I am definitely pro-choice, but it's a struggle. Yeah.
We seem to be sitting in a similar boat, gals, because I am pro-choice, but I am also anti-abortion, if that makes any sense.
Oh, explain.
Well, I like you, agree that life begins at conception, and so it is precious and it should be protected. But I don't believe in outlawing abortion. I do believe it's a woman's choice, and the reason for that is because at times in history where abortion was outlawed, it led to horrible things happening to women who tried to get abortion in illegal ways. So although I don't agree with it, I do hope that women's health and their safety is protected.
And so 1973, Roe versus Wade changed a lot in the United States. Roe being pro-choice, anti-Roe being pro-life. One of the main discussions in this debate is, when does life begin? Now, in Roe versus Wade, the idea was that life began when the fetus could exist outside the womb, albeit with potentially the help of, machinery. And let's talk about murder. Let's say the Webster definition is an unlawful killing of someone, unlawful. So the idea of abortion and this new bill in North Dakota is that it has become now unlawful to abort a fetus. How do you feel about this? Do you feel like it's murder? Even if you are pro-choice, do you feel like it deserves the label murder, or is murder something that we have, created as a law term?
Well, I think regardless of what terms you apply to abortion, one thing is sure is that people who do have abortions do suffer psychological impact. So as much as people like to say that there are people out there who use abortion as a form of birth control, there is a long-term effect on the person. So even if you don't apply the word murder, I think any woman who knows that she has conceived a life and then takes it away is aware that something is lost. And in fact, years to come will have to, kind of pay the consequence of that decision.
Well, this is why abortion is so case sensitive, because when you look, for example, let's say that you are a mother and you find out that you have a child growing inside of you who is never going to be able to walk, who has a very, very serious disease. What do you do then?
And you can find out about that now through neonatal testing.
Exactly.
Right?
What do you do in that case? Are you helping out the life of someone who may not want to live if they could say that they wouldn't want to live, or where do you stand there?
Pro-choice is such an appropriate term, and I don't know what else could possibly work, because it really is that. It is a choice on the part of the parents, and the issue is, sometimes it's the mother, sometimes a father is not even consulted, which is a whole other discussion, to end or go through with having, bringing someone into life.
It's a difficult call because you also hear about people who've had children who have Down syndrome, and they say it's one of the biggest gifts and blessings they've had. And now with all the testing that's available, it's easy to tell if you have a child who has Down syndrome. And so again, it is a choice, but it's such a difficult choice because what is the value of a life?
Well, let's look at China and India. So in that case, if you find out that you're going to have a girl, often, I think that they're saying now in China there's like 65% men in society because so many girls are being aborted, and this is a huge problem. And actually, India ended up banning what is it called, prenatal screening because a lot of females were being aborted.
And in China, it relates back to the one-child policy, which is a method of population control. Now, why are girls being aborted? Well, that is an issue of whether a male is more valuable to the family in society. Henry Morgenthaler in Canada has been honored and has been also criticized for his entire career, but in general, for pro-rights activists, because of his advancement of women's issues. I like to always know what Obama thinks. We always like to know that. So Obama, he got a little bit of criticism for one thing that he said while campaigning, which is he's saying, I love my daughters, but if they make a mistake, I don't want them punished with a baby. Not that a baby is a punishment, but if they make a mistake, he doesn't want them to be, saddled with teen pregnancy if that's not their life choice.
Right. Well, fixing teen pregnancy I don't think means promoting teen abortion, which I almost feel like what he said is in a way promoting it. Because ultimately abortion should not be used as birth control. There's so many better ways of birth control that are not emotionally and potentially physically damaging.
Now let's say you have a 16-year-old or 14-year-old daughter, and do you think that they should have to sign a waiver? Should there be any sort of parent consent, or should children of all ages be able to go in and have an abortion?
When I was young and started being sexually active, the thing that scared me most was that if I needed to have an abortion, that I would have to tell my parents. And what I was always curious about, and I was pretty, good, what I was always worried about was, will I have to tell my parents, or can you get, if ever you need to, an abortion without telling anyone?
I think no matter what case, women are going to seek out a method to terminate a child's life, and so do it fairly and have availability and education on how to go about this safely.
But I think that anti-abortionists should spend more of their campaigning and their money and their passion for empowering women to make healthy choices, because when they go there to harass people who are getting abortions, they're really not helping women. They're actually
alienating.
They're making women victims again.
Yes.
Again, it's the issue of having the choice. My body, my choice, right? If you have questions or concerns about abortion, then you could check the comment section below, where we will post some helpful links from the Canadian and U.S. government. And, of course, post your comments, whatever you think about what we said, anything you'd like to add below, and we'll see you next time.